Okay, hi guys, we're live. And is this transmitting by the way? Because I keep seeing no connection. Are we live? Yeah, okay. Seems so. Okay, sorry for the long intro. I was just double checking. Lately, Twitch has been doing something slightly weird every time I log in, and it's basically it records 3 or 4 minutes and then it cuts down the video. Not exactly sure why. So I was just double checking, seeing if everything's okay. I don't know why it does that, but yeah, mystery. So, hi again. I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks probably, and I wanted to quickly tell you why. Basically, oh, yeah, seems like it. Sorry. Uh, it seemed like it was cutting down the session, but it isn't. Now it says live. Okay. So last week I didn't stream basically because I had a convention that weekend, this past weekend, and the convention went really well. By the way, I was really happy. There was a lot of people that came and say hi from social media, from TikTok and Instagram, and there were repeated buyers from last September. And overall, it went really well. I actually sold out of a few things, which didn't happen in September. Um, so yeah, this made me sort of see conventions in another light because we were pretty burned out after September, really bad, like just barely enough to make up for the table. So yeah, not so good. And this time we did pretty well. I don't know if it's too good or not, depending on, I don't know what other people make in conventions, but I think it was pretty good. We made up the cost of the table easily on the first day, so that was awesome. And yeah, I think people seem to like my stuff, so that's awesome too. And what I want to do today is some personal art because between doing fan art from the convention and just now, like yesterday, I wasn't feeling properly up to anything really. I have been doing some things, mainly just putting everything back on place after the convention, but I've been a bit tired, so I wasn't feeling up to anything, but I've been itching to do some personal art for a while now. Before this, all this fan art, I was just feeling very uninspired and I couldn't come up with anything. And now I don't know, I feel sort of inspired, but at the same time, I don't know what to draw. I don't know if I should jump into a big project and do a big, cool composition, or if or if I should chill out and do something simpler. I'm not sure. So I thought I will go live and I'll see what comes to mind. I'll see what I can do. I had a little idea, and that was to redraw something. A lot of times it's just easy to redraw something you've done from the past. It helps you, it motivates you because you see progress. And it's just easy because you already have a photo there, well, a drawing there that you can draw inspiration from and see. The thing is, I went through my entire feed just a moment ago while I was video talking with my mom, and I couldn't see anything that really sparked my attention. Which was a bit of a downer because I was really hoping to just redraw something and be quick about it. And I had a few drawings saved to redraw, but nothing really inspired me. None of those inspired me. Then there's some others which I have a problem with, is that I want to do traditionally and I really don't feel like doing traditional right now. So I'm debating whether I should just go with the flow and see if something comes to mind, or if I should try to do some concept sketches for those drawings that I want to redraw in watercolor and have that sketch ready for whenever I want to paint. Or if I should just go through my digital sketchbooks and see if I can find something worth drawing. So I keep digital sketchbooks like this thing you're watching now on the screen. And basically what I do is I give it a page. So this is page 14. I've only done 14 pages since I started consciously saving these as sketchbook pages. And I know that sometimes I have like courses that were basically the sketch for a painting, this one too, this one too, and this one too. Lately, there's been a lot of these, of just me sketching, doing some quick doodle, and then moving on to the real painting because I would be in a hurry or I will feel inspired with the initial sketch. Let me change the music, it's getting me a bit crazy. Okay. There. So, I don't know. I'm feeling very uninspired right now. It's just I've been feeling inspired all day to draw, but then comes to the point and you're not feeling inspired anymore. So why don't we open other pages of the sketchbook and see what we can find there? Also, take this as a sneak peek because I don't usually show this too much. Let me find them. Okay, sketchbook. I don't know if I should go all the way back or just to the previous ones. Let's open the first one that I have saved and see what we have there. I'm curious. Okay. Oh, really colorful, I can see. I really like the movement of some of these. Look at that. I love this one. The movement, the texture is really fun. But I wasn't really feeling like drawing mermaids right now. Then some of these had been turned into paintings, like these two. And you can see that this was probably mermaid for some reason, because there's a lot of variety on that. I like this page. It's pretty cool. Let's open another one. Don't see anything that catches my eye now. Okay, this one isn't as aesthetic. Oh, I have a full painting of this drawing. Well, of this sketch. And it's pretty cool. I still like it till today. But the rest of the page is pretty uninspired and a bit scary. Look at this. What the hell is this? I guess I was practicing expressions, but she looks like, I don't know, very odd. Oh my god. I don't know what else I'm gonna find on this. Okay, I like this page a bit better. So this drawing was one, well, this is the sketch, but this one was one of the ones that had me almost inspired to redraw. Then again, it doesn't have much, the real drawing, but I don't know. For some reason, I've always liked the sketch. I don't know if it will change much right now because it's really simple and the color palette's pretty pastel-like. Just let's take it as a sketchbook, digital sketchbook tour for now. While I find some inspiration, maybe I'll see something that I like. There's some pages that seem really aesthetic to me. I don't know why. I really like these two sketches. This one I like a lot as a sketch, but I like the final painting better. I think it turned out really, really well. I don't intend to remake it anytime soon. Even this lady looks pretty nice. It's fun seeing this art. This is from 2018, by the way, so it's pretty old. Let's see what I did in 2019. Okay. I see that most of these were turned into final paintings as well, so there's not much to go here. Okay, a lot of these were paintings as well. and some draw this in a new style. So it was starting the trend of draw this in a new style around here, I think. This was a draw this in a new style. I really like the final product, still do. This one was one that I never got to do, but still cool, the sketch. This one I think was another draw this in a new style, I'm not sure. And this sketch I really, really like. It's just so moody and cool. Love it. This one turned into a watercolor painting that I have around and I still really like. Yeah, not really. And this one was sort of a, I don't know how to call it, but something from Pride and Prejudice, sort of like a cover idea that turned out into a former painting too later. Okay, so I think in here I was playing a lot with the symmetry tool in Photoshop. For some time I really found it inspiring. And here I started a bit of a thing where I really like long necks. I still do it. I don't think I do it as much as here, but yeah. So I don't see anything here else that inspires me. I don't know. Just take it as a sketchbook, digital sketchbook tour, because I haven't found anything that inspires me yet. And as I said, most of these were turned into paintings, and a lot of the pages not in here. So, okay, let's go for page 8. Where is it? I think in this time I doodle a lot. Not anymore. Ooh, I like this one. This is another sketch that was turned into a watercolor painting. Here I was working a lot with masks. I really like masks. They have like sort of a mystery thing. And I was thinking of doing a painting with it. I ended up doing something not like this, but something with it. This is my Sabrina sketch that was turned into a painting too, and the rest were just sketches. I really like this one. I think I ended up spending a lot of time on it. Probably one of those that started out like a quick study and ended up being 2 hours of my life. Still cool though. I don't know which one was the last I opened. 8. Okay, 9. I think I don't like this page too much. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I think I was watching Sense and Sensibility here. I can tell. See, another mask. You know, I was into masks at that moment. But this page is pretty. I didn't like it by the time I was over. I felt like it was really uninspired. Some of these do look really aesthetic, and some others don't at all. Okay, let's see page 10, which is the last one of 2019. Oh, I like the aesthetic of this page. It's very textured. I think I was testing out a new brush or something. And I don't know why I have so many faces, but I really like the exploration over here. That's, well, a bit less. Let's zoom out from this corner. This one, I cleaned up the line art and I still have it somewhere, but I never did it because at a certain point I just stopped being interested in it. I don't know if I should continue it or not. I just don't feel inspired by it anymore. But I should find it and see if I want to do something with it. I think this was a draw this in your style. This is very Tim Burton. I love it. It's really cool. I don't know if it was a study or if I did it from memory. I don't know. I really like this one too. Oh, this will be cool to paint. I think I'm gonna keep this page open. For some reason it's inspiring me. And I'm really liking this. So maybe putting a spin on this and do something like this will be fun. I don't know where this creature comes from, but it looks like from a scary game or something, and it looks so cool. And I'm really loving this one as well. The thing is, the problem with this is that it was so long ago that I don't really know if this was based from an illustration, because sometimes I did that as a sort of a study, and it might have been from my imagination. I'm not sure. It might have been a mix of both. But I'm really loving this one and the clown thing over here. I think I'm gonna keep this open, yeah. I painted this, but I never really liked the result. Okay. Okay, so... Oh, I have one here. I'm just gonna open it because I really like this page. And as I'm doing it sort of a sketchbook tour thing, I'm gonna show you. I really love this page for some reason. I just wanted to fill it with black and this texture thing. And I don't know, it ended up being so cool. And I think most of these are from imagination too. I think I ended up... I finished reading Lois's book. And I was really inspired by her expressions and all. And yeah, this came out. I really like this page still, and even though it's a few years old, but yeah, just wanted to show you that. Let's move on to 2020. I think from here on I have much less pages. You can tell that I've sketched less from there on. Then again, this page is really cool. Like, not all of it, but I really love this one and this one. Though, I must say that this face is just... it's pretty cool as well. Guys, should I make an art book? I'll publish this later on YouTube, so if you're seeing this, you're liking what you're seeing, maybe I do have sketchbooks and doodles enough to make a little sketchbook sort of art book. I don't know. Because I'm really liking seeing this after these years. It's really fun. This, I think I was trying this because I was probably seeing something Tim Burton because of the style. But then again, I think it might have something to do with my circus coloring book. Not sure. And then again, see, I was still with the mask thing there. Okay, this is coming close. I still have some of these much more fresher. Okay, so this one turned up into a pretty cool illustration, I think. This one turned out into a watercolor painting. I think most of what's here ended up being something. This one was a draw this a new style that, by the way, I loved doing. It was so much fun. And these two were paintings too. You might recognize them. This is Vanya and this is number 5 from Umbrella Academy. And these were my little pumpkin guys that I used for Halloween, I think. This face is very weird. I guess it was just filling space. And this was a pose for a Christmas thing, I believe. A Christmas postcard thing. I like this doodle over there, too. And yeah, lastly, we only have one page for 2021. Here you can see that I didn't doodle much. This was a study, I believe, from a reference. I really like how it came out though. And here's a sketch from an idea I have that I might still do. I think it would be really cool to turn it into sort of a book or, I don't know, something. It's just this idea of doing villains in fashion. So sort of choosing, I don't know if related to them or not, choosing a period of time and doing sort of fashion-like illustrations. And as I've studied fashion design, it's not really something I love, but there's a part of fashion design that I really like, and that was fashion history. And I don't know, I thought it will be really fun to combine those two and do something. And for example, my first idea was doing Cruella de Vil maybe into 50s, 60s thing with sort of her style, but you know, make it fashion. I don't know. It was going to be a bit of a research project too, because I will have to review my fashion of those times, and I don't know. I thought it would be fun, but still, you know, it's an idea that's there. Maybe someday. You know, you never end up having as much time as you think you do. Then this is when I drew Marge Simpson in my style. This one was a draw this in your style. It ended up being this one, the final one. This was a collaboration with an artist, and I created an impersonation of the virus. And basically I made her into a supervillain, and it was fun. And this over here were supposed to be a collaboration as well. And I'm really considering it because we really never did it. I'm so bad at keeping up with everything, but I really like this sketch and I see it so clearly in my mind that I'm thinking that I might do something with it soon. The thing is, I don't really feel like tackling up this big of a project right now, so but it will be fun. So that was the last page, and I don't know. Mm, I'm thinking about going with one of these two, but the problem is, I'm thinking that this one might be one of those that will keep me pretty entertained and take me longer than expected. This one might go much simpler, so I don't know. Hmm. Votes, ideas, anyone? They wouldn't be fast enough, though. Mm, I hope you liked the sketchbook tour, by the way, if you were around. I'm leaning towards the clown thing. I'm sorry, sometimes it takes me really long to decide. I don't know, I was thinking about just doodling and seeing if something came up, but I don't think it would. Okay, I'm gonna take that clown and see if it inspires me to do something. If not, well, we'll just have a little doodle session, and that's okay too. So, a good thing to do if you're feeling uninspired like me and want something to draw sometimes is take an art book or something and swipe through it for a bit. Um, a lot of people say, "Why do you have so many art books?" And I don't even have that many. I know artists have a lot of them, and it really is inspiring to just open it and see. A lot of times it inspires you a lot. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it makes you really envious and thinking, "Well, I'm not gonna, never gonna get till this point." But for the most time, is usually good. Gonna make it square. Feels like it's gonna be a good thing to be square. It's tiny. Look at that. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna keep this sketchbook page open just in case I want to doodle something over there. Let me save this. Just gonna call it clown for now. No PDF. I can tell this was made with the symmetry tool. I think I said it before, but I was a bit obsessed with it for some time. But it ended up giving me pretty cool things for a while. I remember I did a few paintings that were pretty cool with it. For some reason, like, it's centered, but I don't feel like it is. I have no idea about what colors to use. I'm mainly talking right now. I'm going to choose a color for the background. I sort of feel like this will look good in vintage colors. I don't know if you get me with this, like vintage. I can't remember the word in English. I can only come with it in Spanish. Uh, I hate when this happens. I don't know, just if it was like old paper, like sort of yellowish, reddish tones, sort of like faded. I don't know. I can't explain myself properly. So let's start with this sort of toned color. I think I liked it better before. Maybe warmer. Just slightly. And I'm thinking about adding a paper texture to it and see what comes up. I'm just experimenting here. Hope you weren't expecting something too serious today. Because you can see I'm feeling very uninspired. Okay, I'm finding the textures. I don't know, maybe something simple. I have a toned recycled paper thing scanned from my sketchbook. Maybe this will fit. I like that. I think that fits. Maybe. I like this color. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. That looks so good. It's fun sometimes to try these effects. So should I just keep it? Okay, I really liked how this one looks. Yeah, because it keeps the color from below, and I really like that color. So we'll use this as a base. Now I'm not sure if I should go with green or not. Let me see if there's another color that catches my eye better. Yeah, I must say that in this sort of blue looks really good. Purple too. Okay, it looks good in a good bunch of colors. There's something about the green though. Maybe it's because it was the original color. I was wondering, maybe yellow? Okay, I sort of like that. I'm not gonna keep it yellow, but we're just experimenting. The pink looks really good too. Okay, I think I'm gonna let's turn this down. I think I'm gonna keep it green, but maybe a bit more bluish green. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love this sort of hue, like this bluish green, teal, or whatever you want to call it. There are several names for it. Okay, there. I don't even know what brush to use because I really, really love the texture, but I don't usually work with that much texture in anything. This is what comes, guys, from going on drawing unprepared. So this is probably the brush that I used for this, by the way. I like this brush. I use it a lot as line art as well sometimes. Well, not a lot, but I use it sometimes for line art. Could have been something like this too. But I don't know if I'm feeling those types of brushes. Let's do a line art on top of it and see how I feel about this. My usual line art. I might change some things as I go, because obviously my style is not exactly the same as back then. But I would like to keep the composition, so I'm sort of gonna trace more or less on top of it. So for example, I'm gonna start with the shape of the face. I think I will like it rounder. So I'm gonna make the cheeks a bit more round. I'm not loving this color, by the way. I think I'll like it darker. Am I going a bit overboard with the cheek? The first thing I also thought when I saw this was to make the chin bigger, because it felt like really small and pointy. So okay, that doesn't look good at all. What am I doing? This sort of angle is really uncomfortable for my hand, but I'm keeping the drawing as it is, just so I can see better. No, I think I'm gonna have to switch the drawing. Maybe the chin is still a bit pointy. You know what? I think I'm gonna copy paste the other side. Okay, so I'm seeing it through the sketch, but I think I like the shape of the face a bit better this way. Obviously the proportions are going to change a little bit too, so hopefully that will make it even better. I'm going to make the line a lot thicker. I hope I didn't ruin the feel of this drawing because I really like it. And a lot of times when you draw over something, you basically lose that. So I hope not. I'm gonna work on a new layer just in case. Also, I'm not sure if the nose is way too small and pointy. To be honest, everything's a bit pointy over here. I'm gonna work on the mouth now. Sorry, that was a water break, by the way. But first, let's do the cheeks. This is sort of my trademark. If anyone is watching and either now or later and wondering about that, it's something I started doing in circles actually. I started drawing a circle on the cheek. I saw it in one of the artists I really like. I can't remember her name. I think she's called Christine. I can't remember. She has a very long Instagram handle. That's why I don't remember. But I used to love her art a lot when I started out. And she did that. She did circles. And I thought that I really loved it because I could recognize, well, her art is very distinctive, but I could recognize her art thanks to things like that, you know? And I thought I really liked it. So I started doing circles, and eventually I don't know why, they ended up like this. And I like it better this way. Sort of, there's a plane on the face, sort of on the cheek, that is basically is a line like around here. And I think I was inspired by that too. So a combination of both ended up being this, and I really like it because it's sort of like my trademark thing. A lot of people ask me what's that and don't really like it. But you know, you can't please everyone, so. So as you can see, I'm already changing a bit her lips. She's now got a smile on. But I think I'll keep the shape. I sort of like it. Maybe make it a bit bigger. But I like the shape there. Feels nice. Now she seems like she's smiling. Sort of. Not sure. I should really sketch more. Seeing that a few years ago I had like 5 or more pages of sketchbooks, digital sketchbooks, and also I filled up a lot more of sketchbooks back then, real sketchbooks. And now I feel like I don't draw anything in sketchbooks. I feel like I draw much less now, which is really sad. Now that I'm sort of doing art full time, I do draw less. Isn't that funny? Okay, that's her face. Her lips more than her face. I don't know how to draw dimples. I was thinking that she might look cool with a dimple. And I think I've done it before, but a lot of times they just don't look good when you're doing them. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for the nose now. I don't dislike how the proportions are. They seem to be more or less in a correct place. I mean, they're exaggerated, obviously, but more or less in the right place, I think. Maybe the nose. Well, I do tend, but that's a personal preference, to draw the mouth a bit closer to the chin. Just gonna move it up just slightly. So a lot of times the space between the nose and the chin is pretty small. But yeah, it's mostly personal preference. Though you can say that that becomes sort of a habit, and maybe it's not such a good habit. I can tell I'm gonna have fun with that hair. I think I don't do those marks as heavy anymore. I'm gonna try to keep it soft. gonna do the rest in a new layer because I was trying to make a soft sketch on top of that. And, you know. Okay, I've drawn like 2 different noses. I like it because it's sort of asymmetrical. Gives it a bit more realism. A lot of times, and I don't know why I do this, because maybe a lot of times later I sort of regret it, is I sort of shade with line art in line art stage, and I keep it in line art. I think I went overboard. Gonna make it fluffier. It looks totally different when you turn off the other layers. Fun. Okay. I'm gonna have Freckles this time too. I feel like we've listened to this song more than one time. Maybe I should move. I just combine it. Okay. Let's uncombine that and move the nose just a teeny tiny bit up there. I feel like the eyes should go, let me move it in fact. I think the eyes should go a bit more like there. And in fact, I think I'm going to leave the face like this. Most of the times I copy paste the eyes unless they're in a very different position. But what I try to do is I will end up making it a bit bigger, maybe turning it slightly. Very small changes, but just so it's not exactly the same. Also, I do copy paste it in their stage. So later, for example, I'm going to add lashes. And then I'm going to add obviously the pupil too as well. The pupil. I don't know how to pronounce anymore. And obviously those also make it different, you know. But so just thought I should mention it. So maybe just slightly bigger. Okay. And then I don't want to, I want to do the distancing more or less right. And I'm gonna turn it, oh, turn it slightly so it's a bit different. Maybe it's not really noticeable, but I think it feels more natural. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm gonna do the lashes. I don't know if I should copy paste it down. She does have like childlike proportions and sort of doll-like, childlike, but she does seem like a child to me, so I think that should be good. I try to turn off that layer from time to time just to make sure I'm not doing something crazy just because I have the reference below. So, okay. I'm gonna lower this because I'm gonna follow the brows as well. For some reason, I really like drawing brows. I'm odd. I like drawing things that most people don't like. So I think I'm gonna make her brows a bit fluffier. Thicker and fluffier. Maybe too arched. I know if I've gone a bit overboard. Let me try. I like the thickness there. Maybe a bit too on the thick side, but it's fine. I like it. I'm gonna change the position a bit. I do copy paste sides a lot of times. I don't usually copy paste brows, but this time I'm gonna do it. Just because I'm not feeling very confident to be able to get the same shape. I still will adjust things, as I did with the eye. I think I'm gonna even lower it more than the other. You know, just don't keep it too symmetrical. A face is not symmetrical at all. I, for example, feel like I have one brow that's almost always higher than the other. Then I also have this expression all the time when I lift one brow, so maybe that's because that's the reason why I always have one brow that seems a bit higher than the other. But I don't know, things like that are very common in people. So think about that when you're drawing. It's usually good. It makes drawings seem more real, even though they're cartoony or whatever, just because they have traits, special traits like people do. Maybe it's something I do lately more, but I feel like I moved over to more round proportions and things. As when before, when we were watching all of these sketchbook pages, I felt like I played with angles a lot more. None of them is better or worse, just an observation that I felt was interesting. Okay, let's draw the pupils now so she doesn't look like a demon. A lot of times I do the pupils with a circle. It's just easier. And I myself do the pupils pretty big. It's just a personal preference. There's nothing wrong with making them one way or the other, just it's what it is. I usually make the circle and then I play with the position. A lot of times I feel that when someone is looking a bit to the side or something gives it a bit more personality, but I feel that this one should be looking at us. I feel like when I take off the layer from below, she's like a complete different person. But that's okay. What am I doing? After doing the circle though, I usually go over with line art. As like now. I don't know if you can tell, but my pulse today is not really good. There's just some days that your pulse is better than others, is okay, but... Okay. I'm gonna do the lashes now. This is the part I like too. I have a thing with eyelashes, is that I sort of need to find the right size. Too thin and they turn out weird. Too thick and they don't have enough, like, they're not sharp enough at the edges. They're like too thick. Eyelashes are a thing I think I overdo a bit. Out of personal preferences. Like, it's just your choice to do it, you know. I'm gonna go slightly thinner. I'm not sure, but I feel like this song is playing all the time. I don't know if you can even hear it, but no. It's just that a lot of these songs are way too similar. Okay, I like that one. Let's move on to the other side. Inevitably, one side will always be better, but that's just how things are. I think it is too thin now. I'm doing weird things with my wrist. Let's just turn this around. I don't even know if I turned it back the last time I did it. I think so. One trick I found works, sort of like a rule of thumb, is to draw a few large eyelashes, like the ones that you have like now, and then just with a smaller brush or just with a thinner, well, less pressure, add some thin lines, because that gives it like realism and fills up the little spaces in between. And mostly when you see like chunks like this of eyelash, it will be that the eyeliner, the Rimmel. How do you call it in English? It's not Rimmel. Mascara. I was like, let's make a Spanish word in English. Sure will work. I'm going a bit overboard. Let me erase a bit. Yeah, when you apply mascara, they basically, it sticks together some lashes, so that's why some are thinner and some are thicker, and this sort of creates that effect. Also, they start thinning out by the time you're closer to here. So a lot of times I don't even add lashes around here because they start looking odd. Okay, I think that looks good enough. Let's rotate the image again. Okay, lots of lashes. And I want to add freckles. I don't know if I said that before, or if I just thought it. I've been thinking about that all the time. Freckles are fun. No. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I usually turn the freckles opacity just slightly down, so they later merge a bit with the color of the skin. Water break. Okay, so what we had before was definitely a more serious and somber clown. It's not really that I dislike the new one. I actually think both of them are really cool. This somehow fits a bit more with my style now. Maybe I don't usually do the faces so round, but more or less. It's fun just comparing. Let's move on to the hair. So it's so very symmetric, the hair. Let's see what comes out of this. I don't know if it's a bit too low. Let's move on this a bit up. Because I feel like the skull, her skull will go like around here, right? So just if we follow the shape of the head, maybe a bit, even a bit lower like this. I do circles better from a distance, so maybe around here. Yeah, that seems like a more accurate position. Take into account the skull, guys, it's important. Obviously, hairstyles will make a bit of a difference later on and make you feel sometimes that the skull is higher or lower, but it's important to take it into account anyway. Okay, first big strand of hair done. Let's move on to the next. I get very concentrated when drawing hair, so that's why I'm so quiet. I don't know what it is, I just like it. This is line art, but this is also shading, really. At least for the hair. By the way, talking about shading, I wanted to do a soft shade around the eye before. Okay, so it hasn't turned as soft as I intended. Oops. Back to the hair. I do each new strand in a new layer, just in case. I could do it all in a layer, but I would rather do it this way, just in case. You never know. Isn't it funny how at certain points the curls look like, well, the hair looks like it's gonna be a mess, and then you finish and it sort of makes sense? Still interesting to me. It's a bit like when you're working with watercolors and at a certain point it just looks horrible. The ugly middle stage, you might call it. Also, you can see that I'm not undoing much. Like if there's a line that especially bothers me, then I will undo, but you can see that a lot of these lines are very random and it's fine. Hair is a bit random anyway. And one side of the hair is done. Let's move on to the next one. Have I just saved? It's funny, sometimes I just save like 2 or 3 times consecutively. So they're not both sides the same. I'm doing the fringe slightly different. Just slightly. Okay. My wrist is a bit more uncomfortable on this side, so let's rotate this. When I'm working with larger areas, I usually go for a larger brush. For 2 things, really. Like it doesn't matter as much if the lines aren't as defined as when you're working in a smaller line, in a smaller area, sorry. And then 2, it's quicker. Really, there's not much mystery to that. I don't know if this, right now it's a bit too large, but as I'm just doing the outline and some general brush strokes is fine. You can always keep changing the size, it's okay. There's also a lot of times that I will work with a big fluffy brush for the general shapes and then go to a much thinner brush to add certain details and strands. It just depends on how I'm feeling, or the hairstyle too, obviously. You don't always work the same, right? It's just how it is. I think I'm gonna keep it like this now. Maybe that line was a bit too thick. builds up a lot of texture too when you alternate between thinner and thicker lines. Makes it feel more realistic. Then again, as I said, the larger the brush, the easier it is to fill it up. This part should have a bit less lines and a bit more highlight, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I can always add some highlights later. By the way, I think when I finish the hair, I'm gonna leave it at this and finish the live stream. We've already been at it for a good while. By the time I finish, it's probably gonna be close to 2 hours. Closer. And I don't know, maybe I'll stream another time this weekend, maybe I won't. I tend to not stream on the weekends because I've been trying to take them off and just, relax. Play The Sims. Maybe doodle something for myself. Have a little painting sesh. But I try to avoid anything that has to do with work. Sometimes on Sundays, like for some reason lately, I've been editing like at night at a certain point in the afternoon when I don't really feel like doing anything else for leisure. I end up deciding to edit. I guess it's because my mind sort of wants me to do something productive. After procrastinating, and take that with a grain of salt because it's not really procrastinating all the time. A lot of times I do little bits of work here and there, but yeah, it just takes it as I think like it's almost Monday, work a bit. Okay, and one thing that I always do after I finish this stage of the hair is adding little strands, and it's like my favorite part ever. And adding little strands of crazy hair always makes the hair look more natural and look better. And I guess it's just why it's so much fun. It's just because it makes it look better. And I go with a much thinner brush and do things like this. Sometimes helps define certain parts like this that I feel like could be a bit sharper. Okay, where's my line? Okay. Photoshop was going crazy now. See, even Photoshop is starting to say, hey, you should be almost done. And doing weird things like this. Okay. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel like it looks much better whenever I add these little strands. Here I feel like it doesn't even matter if you go a bit overboard. Because, you know, we all have crazy hairs. The hairs are not going to stick into one place being perfect. Unless you're wearing tons and tons of gel. Hair gel. Do you call it like that? I can't remember the name right now. Yeah, my Photoshop is definitely saying, hey, save and go away. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna leave it there. A lot of times I do just lower the opacity slightly to the crazy hairs as well. And now we have that. The face and the hair. And that makes our live session of today. I hope you enjoyed it, either if you were here or on YouTube, because we haven't had that many visitors with us today. Maybe Friday is not the best day for streaming, but I haven't felt like streaming in all week, so I think I'm gonna continue this next week just because I'm really liking how it looks, and we can figure out the color palette and what exactly am I gonna do with this, because that was supposed to be like a big color and I like those, but I hate drawing them, so we'll figure it out. And yeah, we'll leave it at here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the little sketchbook tour at the beginning, and you have more sketchbook tours, traditional ones, on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in that, you can go watch those. And yeah, I'll keep saying and. um yeah, that's all. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. We'll finish this eventually in another live stream. I'll see you then. I hope you have a great weekend, and